what's going down, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Holmes Hobbies Motor Control. It's your boy Josh, aka Coleman, and once again we've got the Axial SMT10 on the bench. And after the last episode, I had to clean it out, man. I really rallied on this thing in the mud. Now, of course, I didn't upload the entire footage of me mudding it. It would have been like a 20-something minute video, maybe longer. So I just chopped it up and put some good clips in, but I really beat the snot out of this thing for a while, man, and it was really fun. It didn't get hot on me. It didn't break down. It didn't stop running. The motor, I take that back. One time I did get too much grit in the motor and it stopped. I had to give it a little push, took off again, and that was it, right? And so when I got back, I let it sit and dry, which I shouldn't have done, but I was just really tired and I wound up falling asleep after eating dinner. So what I wound up doing the next day, before I turned any wheels or anything, is I took a little mousse slick and just sprayed it in there on the bearings, just to break up any rust or corrosion that could have happened overnight. So then I hit it with the Moo Clean, and after I hit it with the Moo Clean, I got it really cleaned out with that, started rotating it a little bit, right? Sprayed it out some more. And then eventually, after I let it sit for a little while, I took the mousse slick at that point and started lubing it up with the mousse slick one more time. And then after I lubed it up with the mousse slick, I went ahead and just rotated the motor a few times like so. What I did was I had the trim set on just a little bit though while I was running the water through the motor, just to really flush it out. And you know, just in doing that, I'm really assuming this motor is not going to last that long because it's only a $20 motor and I'm really abusing it already. But honestly, listen to this. After doing just that, oh, my battery's dead. Well, other than my battery being dead, it is extremely quiet. So I'm pretty stoked, honestly. I was really thinking I probably killed the motor off because I beat on it in that water. It was submerged completely for quite a while. But anyways, today what we're going to do is something different. Now that I got the motor all cleaned up and everything, I know it's going to run good again. I'm going to go ahead and install a Torque Master Spool in the rear of this. And the reason for that is because I want some more forward push. The front, I like it to be open because I like to be able to turn sharp. The rear, however, I'm going to lock up. Alright, yeah, it's been so long since I've taken apart one of these AR60 axles that honestly, whoops, that's the wrong one too. I am like, I don't remember how it even comes apart. It's been so long. I've been on the narrow width axles for a while now. Other than the trophy trucks, I mean, I've been using those still. Alright, so now we got the rear cover removed. Boom, go ahead and set that aside. We can at least inspect now, and you can see clearly that my little mud bogging fiasco got some muddy water up in there. So what we'll need to do now is loosen these two, I believe. Alright, so now that's loose. Can undo the bearing carriers that hold the ring and pinion, or the ring and locker, in place. Alright, so now we should be able to remove this. Now it should pop straight out. There we go. There we have it. That is just the stock axial ring gear with open differentials inside there, and yeah, we're gonna go ahead and pull that off. This gear is actually in really good shape. You can't even tell I've been using it really, other than the grease. I mean, there's no wear really at all yet. There we go, all separated. You can see up close, it's a pretty cool little setup. I'm going to keep these gears just in case I want to put something back together like that. Alright, you guys, so here's what I decided to do. Instead of reusing this stock ring gear and modifying it to work with the locker or with the spool, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to chuck it, throw it aside, and I'm going to remove this drive shaft, pull the pinion gear out as well, and I'm actually going to use this old 4313 ring and pinion gear that I have out of the yellow Jeep from back in the day, which is pretty beat up but still usable. And what I'm going to wind up doing is basically underdriving the rear, and the front will be stock drive, so it'll be kind of like a mild underdrive overdrive scenario. And maybe it'll turn sharper, and I don't know really how it's going to work in a mud truck. We're going to see. I just want to do it for fun. I mean, technically speaking, it should turn sharper. It should pull the nose down a little, which I don't know if I really want that. Depends on the float factor and the type of mud. We'll just have to, we're just going to see what happens, honestly. But that's what we're going to do. So first things first, let's go ahead and attach the spool here to this bad boy, which should line up just like that right there. This is an old ring gear. Keep in mind, you guys, it is pretty chewed up, but it'll work. You guys, if you've ran an HD axial ring and pinion gear, you'll know they're pretty much the best on the market. There's not much you can do to get them stronger than these. I also busted out some Team K&K hardware, so that should help me lock it in nice and tight. Now, before I do that, we're going to go ahead and put a little bit of a Loctite on there though, and that should hold it nice and tight. I don't like putting lock nuts or anything on there because there's that chance that they could come loose and fail, and then you're gonna have lock nuts floating around in your drivetrain, your gears. You do not want that. So now we use Team K&K hardware on this old ring gear to attach it to a nice brand new Torque Master Holmes Hobbies spool. This thing is slick, man. Super, super, super tight tolerances. So we're going to go ahead and get that installed, but first I got to pull the old ring gear out and swap that real quick, so let me get that done. Alright, I finally got the pinion gear in, so now I can slip the ring gear in there, but before I do that I need to put a little bit of this utter butter on there, make sure that it's good to go. Now we've got that on there, let's go ahead and slap this back together. Boom. Alright, bearing carrier's in place. Now let's go ahead and get these lockouts lined back up. Make sure they're in nice and good. Then we can line up the axle shaft, rotate it till it slides into place. Do the same thing on this other side here. Oh, this one's fighting me. There it goes. Make sure they're nice and tight. And look, we've got a locked rear axle, finally. Awesome. Let me put these final screws in real quick, make sure this thing is complete. I don't want to forget anything. I've done that before. I get excited and then I'll forget to put a screw in somewhere, get out there, the lockouts fall out, the axles slide out. Alright, let's get this last screw in here. And we'll just do a double check over everything, make sure it's nice and snug. Make sure we didn't forget no screws, everything's in place. Good rotation. And we are finished, guys. That's it. Let me move some of this stuff out of the way real quick. And boom. There we have it. Now, of course, it looks exactly the same, except for now, we have a locked rear end, folks. This is awesome. This is important. Because now, we can get one tire, you know, only one tire will not spin. Other than that, at all times, there will be 3 tires spinning, which is awesome. This thing should go a lot more places now. When I hit the mud bogs, it should be a lot more capable, just by simply upgrading from that open rear diff to a Holmes Hobbies Torque Master Spool. The next thing that I'm going to need to do is upgrade the servo, and then I'm also going to be getting some wheels for this. I don't like these wheels, so I'm going to get some better wheels. I'm also going to get a front sway bar for this thing, just get it to be a little bit more stable in the off camber, a little less flex going on there. And it should be a pretty slick mud truck at that point. Not much else to do. It is going to be a basher, so I'm not going to go too crazy on the upgrades, but I am going to make sure that it performs good at least. I am a country boy at heart, so I do like to play in the mud. And this thing kind of fits a niche for me. It's kind of fun to be able to go out and literally just have the intent of mud bogging, just thrashing in the mud with the toys. So Anyways, you guys, thank you very much for tuning in. Long episode today. I appreciate it. I guess I'll see you out on the trails, or in this case, the mud holes. Peace and chicken grease. Yeah.